What is up, Rock Nation?
What is up?
Man, dude, this spring weather, it's coming on us.
Dude, it's been nice. I actually I had to take a relative to a doctor's appointment yesterday, and on the way back, I had a nice long drive, had the windows down, had the moonroof open, I was smoking on a cigar. Oh, man, it was a good night.
Dude, I'm loving it, man. It was like, 2020 was a year that just seemed to never end. And it's like, oh, okay, winter, cabin fever, all this other stuff. And it's like, bam, 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 bam. Now the temperature's right outside. My kids are back in school. We got high school football coming up like this weekend. I'm loving it, dude. And, dude, life just seems to be going so well. Mm-hmm. What about you, man? Life just killing it right now or
just
what?
Killing it, absolutely. Yep. That made some new personnel changes at work, and looking like this year's going to be even a bigger, better year than it was last year.
I love it, man. Elevate. Just continue to elevate.
Yep.
You know who's not elevating? What continues, this surprises me. It doesn't surprise me, but it should surprise me, but it's just become so normal that I'm not surprised by it anymore. And it is the links that people will go through to do nothing at all.
That surprises you?
Yeah, it's like sometimes it's even harder to do nothing than it is to do something.
Oh yeah.
And what we're talking about, guys, is unemployment, right? Yeah. And I know that listen, before we go into this episode, I want to make something very, very clear. I don't have a problem with the unemployment system. I think it's something that you pay into. I think it's something that should you need to fall back on it, it is there for you. Much like the food stamps, right? Or the state health insurance. I get it. I support that. What I don't support are people who take advantage of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, absolutely.
And, this, as we're recording this, we just kind of are coming out of the new, stimulus relief package, the big, $2 trillion stimulus relief package, whatever. But some of the stuff that was in there that really surprised me, Ryan, is this. The stimulus relief package, this new one, continues to add $400 extra a week for unemployment.
Disgusting.
Yeah. And so I also did some mental math, right? So at $400 a week, at 40 hours a week, or that's $10 an hour. All right. Tax free, because they're not taxing that stuff. And it's kind of like a throwback to our previous $15 an hour, episode we did. At minimum wage is only $7.25 an hour. So you're making more to stay home than you would to go to work. And yet people wonder, why aren't people going back to work? Why do people just keep taking the unemployment?
Because they have no incentive.
They have no incentive.
They have no incentive.
And if you qualify for unemployment, generally you're qualifying for food stamps too. And this stimulus package, guess what else it did? 17% raise to food stamp benefits. And it's like, you continue to reward people for doing nothing. Now, I'm not going to put anyone's name out there.
Right.
But there is somebody that both of us know that has not worked in a year, at least, right? When COVID happened, everyone got sent home. This person started drawing an unemployment check, right? And then, as things are starting to reopen, it's like most people would have went and found another job or went and done something or started to earning. No, dude, they are making more money sitting at home on their ass than they are going back to work.
Yeah.
You go to almost any restaurant or any convenience store in Southern Maryland, and there's a help wanted sign on the door.
Yep.
They can't get their people back. It's crazy.
I know I've hired at least two more, I've hired two more people just since this whole thing popped off too myself. So there are people out there hiring this stuff. I'm looking to hire another person here soon. You just got rid of somebody and look to hire another person here soon. Where are all the applications at? They're not there.
No, it's people are just continuing to do it, man. And so this whole concept of people living off of state aid.
Yeah.
I know that we're going to do another episode about this. We just touched about it on one of the exclusive episodes. And guys, if you're not there yet, you need to head over to the website, rockpodcastnation.com, and listen, find the exclusive content. The only way you're going to get there is by pledging your support. You can do that a couple different ways. You can do it by becoming a founding member. We've talked about that extensively, right? All the perks, everything about that is there on the website. And if you don't feel like making that kind of obligation to support our mission here, you just subscribe for the basic plan there. And in fact, right now, Ryan, we're giving it free for a week or something like that, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So you can be a ROC follower of us, and that is $10 a month. But guess what? That first 7 days is completely free. So you could potentially, honestly, go on there and listen to all of our exclusive additional content and cancel before the 7 day mark, and you don't pay a single dime.
Yeah.
Or you can say, hey, now I want to continue to follow this. I want to continue to be a supporter of the ROC Podcast Nation, and it's only $10 every month. So get on there, go to ROC Podcast Nation /premium and get signed up as a ROC follower. We'd love to have you join us. We had many people join us just this past week. We've had a founding member join as well, and we'd love to have you join.
Oh, for sure. But we talked about some of this whole welfare state concept there, right? We were talking about some crazy gun control stuff and how it relates to some of that inner city problem, and then the bureaucracy in these cities to keep the people oppressed so that they can continue to buzz up votes, right? And it's like the more you promise them, the more votes you're going to get. There's so much that we could talk about on that, but that's not for this episode, dude.
Right.
This episode is talking about these people that continue to just freaking bum off the system. Now, how can you, again, Rock Nation, if you're that person, right, I encourage you, listen, I know it's easy. I know it's easy to just sit back on your ass and stare at your phone screen all day, lerp on Facebook, play Among Us with your kids, watch YouTube, do whatever. Like, I know that's an easy life, but I'm here to promise you, you will feel better by earning your own living.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's a sense of pride and accomplishment that I know hard work sucks, but when you work hard for what you got,
Yep.
you're much more thankful and grateful for it. And many people will tell you this. I'm digressing here, Ryan, but I got to get this out, man. Name a single time in your life when you were grateful but not happy. And you don't have to answer that, but I'm challenging you to answer that question, Rock Nation. Name a single time in your life where you were grateful but not happy. And the only way to become grateful is to quit feeling so entitled. Because when you feel like you're entitled to something, then you're not grateful when you receive it. Right? And that speaks to so much more. That's the getting a trophy for 17th place. That's the even though you do your best doesn't mean you are the best. I don't care if you do your best. Fucking good job, right? But you're not going to get the trophy. The person who did the best is going to get the trophy.
Yeah, like I remember growing up and stuff playing football. I don't honestly, maybe I'm misrecalling, but you only got a trophy if you won the Turkey Bowl, the end game and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't recall, and again, I might be misremembering, so call me out if I'm saying it wrong, but second place, third place, none of that shit. We didn't get trophies and stuff. Some of the teams, I guess the moms might have got together and bought trophies for their kids, participation trophies, but I don't recall that ever happened to any team that I was a part of.
You know, at a certain age, right, everybody, like, second place will get a trophy, third place, whatever, but 17th place doesn't get a trophy.
Fuck.
And in work, you can't sit there and watch everybody continue to do better than you and get promoted and then say, oh, well, I've been here for 15 years, but my work ethic really hasn't changed and I'm still doing the same job, but I deserve a promotion.
Yeah.
You only the best, all right, get the best. All right. Doing your best doesn't mean you are the best.
Yeah.
But what all of this is boiling down to, guys, is this, man. Like, if you're out there cranking it on unemployment right now because you can't find a job, I'm there for you, brother. I support you. That's what it's there for. But if you're coasting because the powers that be just gave you an extra $400 a week to sit around on your bumpskin, right? Get off your bumpskin and go get a damn job.
Yeah, if you can't find a job because you're not looking for a job, and that's a wholly different thing too. Don't say I can't find a job when you haven't been looking in the first place.
Right, man. And, you know, we could talk about the reform, right? So many states have already started to implement this where if you're on unemployment, you have to go down to the community work center and, you know, show them that you're actively applying for jobs, right? So, you know, you have to like go around and have people sign it. Literally, like if you go to, you know, fast food, you get an application, then you have the manager sign your little docket, right? And you take that back. We've talked about this before on food stamps, right? Like maybe you need to do a mandatory drug test, but you know, there's all this stuff about it, but name a single time in your life that you've been grateful, but haven't been happy. All right. The only time you can really be grateful for something is when you've earned it. you know, and the only time you're going to earn it is if you've earned it. It's not nothing that nothing is just going to be given to you, and you're going to be. Here's a for instance, right? Ryan, if I walked up to you and gave you $5,000, you're gonna be fucking great, or you're gonna be grateful. All right, I get it, and that's one kind of grateful. But your work ethic and raising your kids and seeing your kids go out there and like walk the aisle or something like that, you're grateful because you put in that work and you're happy for them and you're grateful for them. And there's so many different things like that. You train every day to be yourself, the max out challenge, right? To just be better than you were the day before. When you start hitting those milestones, man, you're going to be thankful. You're going to be grateful and you're going to be happy. And when you're grateful and you're happy and you're thankful, you elevate yourself and then you elevate those around you. All right. That's a different topic. That's a different episode. What I'm trying to focus on here is the unemployment stuff, man. I was sitting here talking about this to my wife the other day, as I tend to do, right? And we were talking, and you know my wife, you know me. I mean, you know where we live. We're not super earners, you know what I mean? But we do decent for ourselves because we've worked our butts off to get to where we're at. Yep. And you saw where I came from.
Yep.
All right. So it's not like this was handed to me.
Yep.
But we started thinking about it, and we were like, what would happen? How can we fix this? All right. What if people like us, like me, my wife, you, our friends, right? What if we stopped being responsible? You know, what do you think would happen, Brian? What if we stopped paying our mortgage and stopped paying our cell phone bill and stopped paying for our utilities? What do you think would happen if the responsible people started doing what the irresponsible people are currently doing?
It's like the old adage. What is it? The saying is something along the lines of you got to go work. You got to go to work tomorrow and make sure you work hard because you got millions on welfare that are dependent on you. And that's honestly very, very true. I mean, again, like you said, there are literally millions in America that depend could use the help. No, like that literally their life depends on other Americans performing for them. Whether it's because they're incapable or whether they're capable but just absolutely lazy. There's both sides. I'm not going to say everybody that's on welfare is completely lazy and capable people and stuff. That's not the case. Right. But they're a mixture of both, and they depend on you and I to go out there and be successful.
Oh, for sure, man. And that's the thing. Again, you said it, and I'll say it again. There are people that need that service, right? And that's, for me, my bleeding heart side, right? Like, I want that for them. There was a time in my life where I needed that, all right? And it was there for me when I needed it. It's a safety net for the American citizen. But if one day everybody that is a homeowner or mortgages a home, right? I love how people always, I'm a homeowner. Well, show me the deed, right? Yeah. Without the bank's name on it, right? That's
the bank's house.
That's semantics, right? This house, the ROC headquarters, it isn't my house. It's the bank's house until I pay for it. But, what if if all of the homeowners decided to just stop paying their mortgage one day and stop paying their cell phone bill one day, and they did that whole thing that's wrapped up in a COVID bill right now where they can't foreclose on you and they can't turn your cell phone bill off and they can't shut your utilities off and they can't do any of that shit. What if we just stopped paying? If our backs got so tired of carrying the burden, which it is a burden at times, right? Because my tax dollars are going to fund that stuff. This $2 trillion that's just got washed out there, right? And what do I get? Like a $1,400 check or something like that? It's crazy. It's frustrating. And our backs are getting tired of carrying these people, right? And by these people, Ryan and I have made it very clear who we're talking about here. Yep. Right? And if we stopped, dude, it would cripple the economy. I mean, 2008 would be nothing compared to what would happen. I'm not in the 10%. Close. And when I say that, guys, don't think I'm loaded. I'm going to tell you what 10% makes, right? So I actually pulled up the stat, Ryan. Let me pull that up. So in order to be in the top 10% of the country, your wages, and I think that this is combined husband and wife wages, you only, and I say only, but you only have to make $158,000 a year. That's not like you're a mega millionaire.
No, in this
right?
area, that's
That's
not a ton.
no, it's not.
I mean, that's a respectable amount of money and stuff, but that's not a ton in this area.
It's
You
not.
know, there are probably many couples in our county here in St. Mary's County that are over 200,000.
Yeah.
You know, that's I wouldn't say that's uncommon and stuff. Like you said, you know, they're still grateful and stuff, but it's definitely not 158 a year for a couple. That's not what it used to be.
Yeah, and it barely puts you over that budget for the stimulus package, right?
Yep.
Now, the top 1%, the top 0 point, and this is where everyone gets confused. Everyone wants to say that, oh, the top 10%, they're like unattainable. You'll never get there. If you went out and got a job at the union as a welder, within 5 years, you'd be making six figures. All right. That's the promise they make you. And if you're not familiar with Mike Rowe Works, you need to go out there and check that out. If you're, you still got this thing in your head where you're too good to be a tradesman, you need to get that out of your head. All right. Within 5 years, right out of college or right out of high school, within 5 years, you could be making six figures with no college debt. All right. But if you did that, you would be in the top 10% of earners in this country. Now, why I was saying all that is this, the tired backs, right, of the 10%. The top 10% pays 75% of the taxes in this country.
Well, I believe it. I believe it. No. Like, the other day I was looking at my bank account. I saw some money left in my bank account. I was like, what the hell is that? Look, it's the IRS. I'm like, no shit. I mean, I can't right now. Like the amount of money that I pay in taxes is ridiculous, and to see the shit that it goes to, whether it's leeches in the United States or whether it's foreign, studies on, what was it, the Pakistan,
Gender studies in Pakistan
for birds. It was like a bird. They were doing gender studies about a particular bird in the country of Pakistan. Like what the seriously? That's
right.
what my money went to. That's what was so damn important. Like,
Yeah.
could you imagine if they cut all that bullshit waste? Could you imagine that? Do you imagine if they did that and they cut our taxes proportionally? How much more money we would have in our pockets? Or if they didn't, how much quicker they're not paying off the debt at all. They've only been accruing it. But how that debt would stop growing, and if anything, they would actually be starting to pay it off. But
right.
I've never I hate debt. The only debt that I currently have at this time is my house. Other than that, no credit cards, no any of this other bullshit. I hate debt and stuff. I try to pay. If I don't have the money right then and there to pay for it right then and there in full, I don't pay for it. Last two vehicles I bought, in full. I try to pay my insurance. Insurance is one of those recurring things, but I still try to pay that every 6 months or every year.
Well, you're lucky. You're a lucky man. I mean, you're different than a lot of people. But
Yeah.
Your message, I think, is what a lot of people
If you
would
can't
like
afford
to
it,
be.
don't fucking buy it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would like to be in that situation. But the American. The understanding in America, that's just what you're saying. Everybody knows that they should be doing, but nobody does it. I don't do it. I mean, I suck at spending money, man. I'm terrible at it.
Well,
Even if I got the money, I'll be like, oh shit, I don't have the card. I'll just swipe the card and then I'll just pay it off, whenever I pay my credit card bill or whatever.
Didn't you get into what is
the Dave Ramsey?
Dave Ramsey stuff. How did that go? I guess not
Didn't
too
go
great.
very well, brother. It didn't go as well as I hoped it would. I mean,
Yeah.
things happen,
Yeah.
You try and the next thing you know, you just stop.
Yeah.
Right?
And by the way, I don't follow it either. Any program, my program is I don't like fucking debt. So, I mean, yeah.
It's a
I
good
hate-
program.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm one of those. I'm trying to pay off my house sooner and stuff. Like, and I don't have a spectacular house either and stuff. Like, I have a 1,000 square foot. What is it? Three bedroom, one bath. No, not even half, just one bath. And yeah. I mean, hopefully one day and stuff I have bigger debt when it comes to that. Hopefully I can afford a better house and stuff. That's the idea and stuff. But yeah, people are out here. I can't survive off of this. Blah blah blah. Like talking about whatever they make or whatever they're. Oh, I need more in food stamps because I can't afford to feed my family. No, you can't afford to feed your family because you're buying a carton of cigarettes every fucking week. If you can't. And I've smoked a time or two as well. I smoke usually when I drink, this and that. But if you can't smoking cigarettes, drinking alcohol, doing that's a luxury in life that you don't need. And
Right.
if you are able to afford that luxury, then you don't need help in paying for the necessities and stuff. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. Like, no, I'm a human being too. I deserve. No, you don't. I don't. You don't deserve to smoke cigarettes. People that work hard and have enough money to pay for their necessities, and they have extra money, if they want to, it's not a good choice. I wouldn't advise buying cigarettes and stopping smoking. But that's when you can afford to do that. If you can't afford to do that, if you can't afford to feed your family, you can't afford to fucking buy cigarettes. It's just one of those.
So I've been on a few other, for my other show that I do, I also do some like mindset coaching and stuff like that. And I talk to different people about that. But one of the episodes I was on with the guy out in Ireland, here in the United States, right? I could talk about how I grew up, and I grew up really poor. But I had to be very specific to explain that I grew up American poor. Right? Because for those of you who've never been outside the country or haven't, looked outside your window yet,
American poor is still rich in other countries.
Dude, the bottom 1% of Americans are still richer than like 90% or 60% of the rest of the world.
Yeah.
I think last time I did the numbers on it. But it's everybody that's on welfare, brother. They all got that brand new Samsung joint. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that's on welfare, they still got internet. Yep. Everybody on welfare, man. Guys, listen.
Not everybody.
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Obviously there are some really unfortunate people out there that are still struggling even with welfare to make ends meet.
Similar to what you're saying, somebody, I'm kind of cutting you off, but I saw at a street corner, lady had a sign, begging and blah blah, sitting on a bucket, texting on her brand new iPhone. Yeah. Like my phone, I have a phone and stuff. I have actually 2 phones because they're my company phone. But my phones are 3 years old. The one has got a cracked screen, and it's been cracked like that for 2 years. And I've been, 1, too busy working, and 2, too cheap to freaking spend extra money to get a new screen on it. So I've got 2 phones, old as shit, and they're still doing the job, so I'm still whatever. And I've said it to my wife about a week or 2 ago. I said, man, next chance I get, I'm gonna go out and buy me some new phones. These things are 3 years old. But I haven't had the time to do so because I've been damn out there working, busting ass, and freaking, hustling. Mm-hmm. So... But yeah, like you said, and like other people said, those who say they need help, they need assistance, they need a hand up, not a hand out. They also they got brand new kicks on, they got a brand new cell phone, they've got a car and this and that. Like,
so this person I was talking about at the beginning of the episode, this person we both know.
Okay,
they found a way to hack, and if you're from Maryland, you know what we're talking about with crab. Okay. Right? The blue crab.
Yeah.
Now, most places when you're using food stamps and stuff like that, you have to buy kind of like packaged food or something like that. No hot items or whatever. They found a guy up in Baltimore that can convert your food stamps for you or whatever into hard crab. So he's selling hard crab for food stamps, right? The people I was talking about, they're getting over $700 a month in food stamps.
Yeah.
They're getting 16 on top of their regular unemployment for not working. With the extra $4 a week, they're getting more than $1,600 a month on food stamps. Unemployment benefits, $700 a month in food stamps, plus some other money we're not going to get into because I don't want anyone to be able to figure out who I'm talking about. But I'll tell you this, my wife and I do pretty well for ourselves. These people have more disposable income than I do.
I believe
You know what I'm saying? Everybody just got brand new iPhones and Samsung joints. Everybody's always like, sending pictures, eating crab and stuff like that. I'm like, you're sitting on your ass. You're taking my money. Every time that you send me a picture of that hard crab that you bought with your food stamps, I'm sitting over here thinking somehow a percentage of that money that you're spending is coming from me.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Go up there and get some of your crabs back.
I thought about it. I've been invited over. I've actually been invited over to do it. So
10 for me, 1 for you. You're welcome.
Ryan, this is one I don't have a solution for, guys. I'll tell you, the good, the bad, the ugly, right? The good. A couple things real quick, Rock Nation. We're looking to add a little bit of flair to the episode. So if you guys have some suggestions on some things like a regular segment that you want us to hit on, let us know in the comments. Send us an email, go on Facebook, let us know. We're also going to have a tip jar here, but not really. It's a swear jar. So we're trying to get a little bit more PG. Ryan's pastor at the church leaned on him a little bit for dropping the F-bomb, and I've counted. He's already dropped it 5 times this episode.
Have you caught me trying to catch it, though?
At the beginning, but then a little bit ago, you're like, F this, F that. But so when Ryan was talking about debt, I was actually going to say, Ryan's actually going to help me get out of debt because of the amount of cusses is going to come to me. But yeah, guys. So one of the things I've been thinking about, Ryan, and I'll run it by you here, the good, the bad, the ugly. So on any episode that we do, let's talk about some things. Let's talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. So what's the good about unemployment?
It helps the small percentage of people that are on it that actually need it.
Yeah, I wish we had that number. If you had to guess what percentage of people are on, of the 100% of people that are on unemployment currently, or currently, not even pre-COVID. I'm talking about like today. Of the 100% of people that are on COVID today, how many of them do you think really need it?
Need it? Maybe 30%.
Maybe 30%. Okay. All
Those
right.
that want it, 100%. But those that actually need it, I'd say only 30%, honestly.
So
And that's me being gracious.
So the good, right? It's a safety net. It's there for the American citizen. It's there if you need it, right? And all right, cool. So what's the bad of unemployment?
Well, taking that money out of my paycheck, taking that money out of my kid's mouth, taking that money out of my bank account, and it's if anything, honestly, like you said, hearing all these people's stories of like what they're able to do on unemployment, it kind of makes me think, hey, why work so hard? Worst case, something happens, I could live the high life with no work.
Sure.
So I think if anything, it takes away from the hard work ethic of generally hardworking Americans, honestly.
All right, and the ugly, guys, the ugly is if you're sitting around on your ass right now listening to this and you're shaking your head at me and Ryan
You're
thinking,
pissed.
yeah, you're pissed because we just called you out.
I hope
Look
you're butthurt.
around. Look around. You think your kids are proud of you? You think your wife's proud of you?
If the shoe fits, wear
If
it.
the shoe fits, wear it, brother.
And if you're ashamed that you're wearing it, then maybe you should go take it off.
Hey, you know what? Get a hold of ptpgun.com. All right. He's always looking to hire people, especially now.
Yeah.
And we won't get into that, but if you know, you know.
Yeah.
Guys, listen, head over to rockpodcastnation.com. Check out what we're doing over there. Subscribe there. Subscribe on Spotify. The best thing that you could do for us today is
Share.
to share.
Hit
Share,
that share.
share.
Don't
You
cost you
gotta
a
share.
damn dime.
No, it doesn't cost you anything.
Not at all.
Yep. And then right after that, leave a review, right? Because just like, that brand new pair of Nikes you got, when you're in there checking on Amazon looking for, or whatever, you check the reviews. Well, if anyone's ever going to find our show, they need to make sure that we have some authority. So drop down on Facebook, you can leave a page review on iTunes, or I'm sorry, Apple Podcasts. You can leave a show review. Find a place to leave us reviews and spam that stuff. Mm-hmm. Even if they're bad reviews, we'll take them. All right. I mean,
Really though?
well,
Are we being serious?
I want any review. I just want people to start talking about us, man. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
But don't be afraid if you start getting some hate messages from Ryan if you leave a bad review.
I won't send you a message. That makes a paper trail. It's gonna be outside your window throwing rocks and shit.
Guys, head over to the podcast page. Head over to rockpodcastnation.com. You can check us out there. If you like what we're doing and you want to hear more of it, you can pledge your support there and help us to continue our mission, guys. And with that, we're out.
Deuces. Stay strapped and get clapped.